hear the music now? Take it off. Turn it off. I'm cool now. Oh, okay. It's gonna be 1 minute. Well, welcome. Unity Spiritual Center of Anchorage. So glad to be with you today. And I bet you think Reverend Rachel may sound a little different today. Well, she does because I am your guest minister today. My name is Reverend Sheree Taylor Jones, and I'm here covering for Reverend Rachel, who has the day off. Well deserved, I might add. Can you imagine going through this whole COVID process, switching everything virtually, getting all of the bells and whistles just right to continue to bring you inspiration and love and nurturing and reminding you that you are not alone. So, Rachel, I hope that you are kicking back, maybe even sleeping in. Do I dare hope for you? And here I am. I am Reverend Sheree Taylor Jones, and a funny thing happened on the way to visiting you. Rachel had invited me to come and visit your amazing community. She gushes about you all so much. And my husband Graham and I were on our way to visit you, and then COVID happened, and we were in Oregon. And guess what? A couple months later, we're still in Oregon. So we're hanging out in Coos Bay, and that's where we're doing our stay at home. And it's not a bad place to get stuck. It's beautiful here. I didn't realize how much it rains, though. It does rain an awful lot here. So, taking all of it in and realizing that um, we are blessed. We are so blessed. So, here I am with you virtually, and we get to celebrate our life, our love, our spiritual oneness together. So, why don't you join me in prayer? Let's take that deep, deep breath in and exhale. And as we do that breath, it reminds us exactly where our body, where our feet are, and so where our consciousness and thoughts need to be right here, right now, as we honor the presence of oneness in each and every one of us, as we breathe into the truth that we are well, that we are safe, that we are blessed. And all this is right now is a little inconvenience. And so we breathe into the truth of that right now we are supporting a planetary shift in consciousness, in transformation, and we are open to God, open to the universe, open to love, to show us, to guide us to exactly what is ours to do. And as we continue this prayer, let's hold the high watch for those who are on the front lines, bringing in, ushering in change, ushering in transformation. Let's hold the high watch of health for those who may be dealing with the pandemic, with the illness of the coronavirus. For those who have loved ones who may be dealing with that, let's hold them in the knowing of their highest good and highest truth. And we breathe. And as we breathe, we are holding the high watch for Mother Earth that she is also breathing anew. And she's taking this respite and renewing and revitalizing herself. And for all those other prayers that I may not have mentioned, let's hold them in love, in light, in wisdom. And for all of this, we say thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. Amen. Oh, it's so wonderful to be here with you. And if I have the order of service right, then my next thing should be our opening congregation song, our congregational. So let me pull that up. It is going to be, it's going to be I Feel the Spirit by Ricky Byers and Michael Beckwith. So if you will join in, if you feel called to sing, feel free to do that. I'm going to sing and my husband's going to play the guitar with me. So be loving as you listen to us. I feel the Spirit moving in me. 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 I feel the love moving in me. I feel the love moving in me. So I hope that you enjoyed that and that you sang along with us. And we have Nancy here who's going to read the daily word. Welcome, Nancy.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Today's daily word is divine order. Divine order is always unfolding in my life and in my world. As spring ripens into summer each year, new leaves transform bare leaves into canopies of green. Tiny seedlings grow into sturdy plants and decorate the landscape with an array of colorful blossoms. I marvel at the divine order demonstrated as the earth renews itself. I recognize that even as the earth appeared barren in wintertime, new life was preparing to spring forth. I notice this pattern in my life. I may be demonstrating visible growth in my life, or, like the earth in winter, it may seem that my life is stagnant and barren. I remember that as the seasons of nature change, so do the seasons of my life. Even when it is not apparent to me, I know that divine order is always unfolding in my life and in the world. The earth produces of itself first the stalk, then the head, then the full grain in the head. Mark 4, verse 28. And once again, divine order is always unfolding in my life and in the world.
Thank you, Nancy. Thank you, Nancy. That was beautiful. And it's so perfect, right? As everything unfolds, we're claiming divine order. So let's kind of get still a little bit. And we're going to have the song right before our meditation. And this is entitled Be Still. And it is by Soul Resources. And I hope you enjoy it. Be still and know that I am God. Be still. Be still and know that I am God. In all of life, the joy and sadness, busyness and angry madness. Be still and know that I am God. Be still, be still and know that I am God. Be still, be still and know that I am God. In life's unknown and sacred places, and all of those unfriendly faces, be still and know that I am God. That's okay, say it again. That's okay, say it again. Say it again. That's okay. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. Faced with terror, fear of failing, longing for a place that's loving. Be still and know that I am God. Be still, be still and know that I am God. Be still, be still and know that I am God. In the empty place of lonely darkness, allow me in and clear the sadness. Be still and know that I am God. That's okay, say it again. That's okay, say it again. Say it again. That's okay. That's okay, say it again. That's okay, say it again. Say it again.
That's okay. Be still, and know that I am God. Be still, and know that I am God. In all life's worries and frustrations, knowing God's in all creations. Be still, be still, and know that I am God.
And so, in this sacred time, I invite you once again to follow your breath. The power in this is realizing that there is something greater than ourselves within. We don't have to tell ourselves when to breathe in or when to breathe out. There is this sacred knowing, this higher consciousness that does it for us. And so, as we follow the breath, I invite you to let your thoughts and your concerns just drift away for the moment. Be present here. You can always pick them up later, but for right now, trust. Follow your breath. That's all there is the breath. And if you're willing, I invite you to close your eyes. Allow your feet to be firmly on the ground. And if any thoughts appear, don't resist. Just imagine seeing those thoughts and let them drift away. And imagine with me this brilliant golden light streams down from the universe, down from allness, down from God, from love, from principle. And as it streams down, imagine that golden ray touching your crown chakra and then permeating down through your mind, through your throat chakra, through your heart chakra. Allow it just to permeate your shoulders, all of your organs. And you're just following that golden stream of energy, of love, of light, of wisdom flowing in and through you. You may feel some energy sparks through your body as this stream goes through you. And allow it to go through your thighs and your knees, through your calves and into your feet. And then allow that love and light to go into the ground, into Mother Earth, renewing her, revitalizing her, reminding her that she is part of the allness. Feel that beautiful stream of energy flowing in, through, and as you. And then I want you to imagine that that energy is transmuted again in Mother Earth, and some of that energy now flows up through your feet, your calves, through your knees, through your thighs, into your torso. And it meets that golden stream of energy right at your heart chakra. This is the yin, the yang, as above, so below, the allness, the balance. Allow that to permeate you. Feel that. There's a pulsating energy. And as you feel that, allow it to start pulsing out from your heart chakra. As it pulses out, it gets larger and larger, expanding. You can feel that energy in the entire room, in your entire home, just pulsating, covering everything in love and light, in peace. And just take a moment to feel the sweetness of that. And then I want you to imagine this rapid expansion as it goes out of your home, through your neighborhood, covering your city, your state, the country, moving over the oceans to other continents, covering, blessing, filling, loving. And so we allow that amazing love, that light to just bathe everything in renewed energy, in vitality, in peace. And then I want you to feel that energy come full circle back to your heart chakra and feel that pulsating energy. Take a deep breath in and exhale. And as you exhale, take a moment just to be filled with gratitude for that experience. And just allow that energy just to dissipate and bring your awareness back to this now moment, to the chair that you're sitting in, to where your feet are residing. And when you're ready, you may flood your eyes a little bit and come back here to this time, to this space, to this energy. Welcome. That's one of my favorite exercises to do. It just reminds me of there's so much more than what I could possibly imagine. There's so much more in the universe than just our bodies. And so it's a good reminder. It's a good reminder that we are divine and human. So let's talk about our topic today. If you're willing, just relax and sit back. Allow your heart to be open. Allow the words to seep in. Now, last week, Reverend Rachel, she spoke about the power of saying no. No to things that are no longer acceptable. She said that it's okay to say no to treating people less than human. So I'm going to follow that talk today. and talk about, okay, well, now that we've said no, right? What does that mean? Because when we say no to anything less than love, the call then becomes, well, now what is mine to do? You see, awakening requires us to do something. And we are now called to action. And often, what I find in New Thought spiritual communities is that we kind of get stuck when action is needed. And I think it's because we just haven't had a lot of practice to act from our divine nature. I'm not saying we aren't lovable. Of course, we're lovable. Of course, we do things from that place of love. We have spent a lot of time in recognizing that there is one presence and one power in the universe, that we are all of God, and that to stay aligned to source, to love, to principle, we have to practice meditation and prayer. And we know that we co create the world through thoughts held in mind, right? We call that mind action. And those are the first four out of the five unity principles. We've practiced harnessing our thoughts and reframing our perceptions of the world around us, right? We've done a lot of work. We've also figured out that through affirmative prayer, we can harness our power as co creators. We've practiced meditation to center in truth and in love, which enables us now to show up in the world as a loving presence. But what we haven't had a lot of time and practice doing is taking big, bold actions for our communities, for our cities, for our neighborhoods to really, truly create the world we wish to live in. Of course, it is important to hold the high watch, and it's equally as necessary to be love in action as well. Now, I know some of you may be thinking, well, we do take action, Rev Sheree, and I know that you do. Maybe you do things like so many other communities that I've been a part of or a guest at, where it's, during the fall, we get supplies for backpacks for kids in needs. Maybe we gather a lot of foods to help food pantries. And during Christmas time, we get gifts for the needy kids. And all of these are lovely acts and lovely ways to assist. But what it is we are shoring up systems that are from lack. So the question is, how much do you want to change the world? A little or in a huge way? As I was practicing for this talk and thinking about it, a biblical verse came to mind. And you may have heard this before. It says, faith without works is dead. Faith without works is dead. You could also say prayer without works is dead, or meditation without works is dead. This verse comes from the book of James, and it's James chapter 2, verses 14 through 17. And it says this: what good is it, my brothers and sisters, if you say you have faith, but you do not have works? Can faith save you? If a brother or sister is naked and lacks daily food, and one of you says to them, go in peace, keep warm, and eat your fill, and yet you do not supply their bodily needs, what is the good of that? So faith by itself, if it has no works, is dead. So prayer by itself, if it has no works, is dead. So meditation by itself, if it has no works, is dead. That's a pretty powerful verse, isn't it? So let me tell you a little bit about the book of James. Of course, it's in the New Testament, and it's actually a letter that is written to the Jews in dispersion. And these are the Jews that have been converted to Christianity and are spread out along the Roman Empire. The identity of the author has been questioned by theologians. And from what I've read, it seems more than likely like I think the author is James the Just, which is the brother of Jesus, who was the leader of the Jerusalem Council. And the Jerusalem Council, they led the Jews who had converted to Christianity. And because of the Hebraic tone of this letter, and when I say Hebraic tone, what I'm saying is that James, the author, spoke to these folks with the understanding that they knew and they lived Jewish laws. So it suggests that this book was written before there were issues with Paul's Gentile converts to Christianity. So let me also back up a little bit. So James stayed in Jerusalem and he led the council there for the Jewish converts. But the Apostle Paul, his mission was to go out afar and convert everyone and anyone. And so they were usually Gentiles, known as Gentiles, that were converted to Christianity. So, James, in this letter, he is encouraging them to live the law. It's a call for the practical application of Jesus's evolution of consciousness. Now, many of us know Jesus as our way shower. Yes, he spoke about loving our brothers and sisters as ourselves, but that's not all he did. Jesus took action. He healed the sick. He resurrected the dead. He fed the hungry, and so much more. And James is reminding these converts that saying something like, I behold your divinity, is meaningless without taking actions to support those in need. James is asking, how would empty words help those who are impoverished? Even more, how would empty words help you to grow in consciousness? Let's face it, if your words are simply to make yourself feel better or to give the illusion of sympathy, then, my friends, those are empty words. So let's make this a real life example. Today, what's going on, right? We've seen the marches, the protests against the inhumane treatment of people of color. And so, if we see the degradation, torture, killing, and systemic devaluation of people of color's lives and say, oh my, that's so horrible. That shouldn't be happening in 2020. And then maybe we offer an affirmative prayer. Well, that, my friend, that is the epitome of prayer without works is dead. It's fake faith and mock charity. It is the out picturing of an unwait of an un let me try that again. It is the out picturing of an unawakened consciousness. I'm really passionate about that. The out picturing of an unawakened consciousness and our inability to be compassionate. And here's the thing, saying we are an evolved consciousness and taking no action is simply lip service to an imaginary status that we don't hold. Our works must manifest as the practical application of spiritual evolution. Walking in the world as an awakened consciousness means, yes, we pray and meditate and hold the high watch. We also look at our own unconscious biases that allow us to support the broken systems that are on the planet in our world right now. What unconscious biases do we have that allows us to support the broken systems in place, which can only thrive from the continued oppression of those who are marginalized? And we take actions to eradicate the systems which abuse those less fortunate and create new ones. You see, my friends, it's a threefold process of being completely engaged, completely immersed in the evolution of consciousness, total engagement of our mind, of our soul, of our body. That's required. So let's look at the mind. From the mind perspective, it means connecting with our highest self through prayer and meditation to receive those downloads, which give us the thoughts to co create. From our soul's perspective, to discern truth, the truth that we are all divine human beings, all of God, all equal. And then allowing that truth to permeate our being as we challenge any false beliefs that we've been indoctrinated to about our purpose in the world. And then finally, our body to take the actions from those downloads and from those truths to manifest into creating the new world that works for all. Now, I know this may sound radical, but somehow in our metaphysical thinking, it's become magical. Like we've come to believe that evolution of consciousness means that we must be happy at all times and that life should be easy. That's not true. That's not true, my friends. Evolution of consciousness means we allow all of the emotions we experience on this planet to be acceptable, to be of good, knowing that all emotions are necessary, just as the rain and the sun are needed. One isn't better than the other. It also reminds us that all the experiences that we have in our lives on this planet are for our highest good. Evolution of consciousness means we aid our brothers and sisters, knowing they are of God. Therefore, they are of me. They are of you. Evolution of consciousness means I can change my beliefs that no longer serve me and are not of truth. Evolution of consciousness means that I can never outshare God's abundance. Evolution of consciousness means that I truly am my brother's and my sister's keeper. Evolution of consciousness means I may be afraid, but I have enough faith to take action on behalf of another. And then that brings us to the question, so what is mine to do? What is yours to do? Well, I've got a few suggestions if you're willing to listen. Always, always start from love. First, love of yourself. As you look at your unconscious biases, view them without judgment. Know that if you are raised and educated in the Western culture, you are taught to have biases. We all have biases. I have biases. And ours now is to discern what are those biases, release them, and create new beliefs that are aligned with truth. Second, love others. As you observe the actions that people are taking right now, some of it imperfectly to make a difference in the world, observe without judgment. Because, of course, the actions people are going to take run the gamut from anger to apathy. And know that they are simply doing the best that they can in this moment. So, I'll give you another recent example. We've been watching the protesters and the marchers, and recently we may have seen some of the incidences of looting. And we know it's a small amount of people that's been committed, right? And instead of judging the behavior and perhaps thinking, how horrible, why are they doing it? They need to stop that. Maybe we could ask the question, what would have happened in my lifetime to make me feel that that is the only action, the only recourse I had. You see, it's in our belief in separation that we create this us versus them mindset, which is not true. And we forget to love our brothers as ourselves. The roots of biases in this country are long and it affects multiple generations. And this means that it's in the very strands of our DNA. And it's going to take time to work that through. Next, I invite you to focus on what small step can you take. Look at it from what's right here, right now in front of you. Be in the present moment and act from there because we know as metaphysicians that now is all we ever have to work with. What can you do now? Perhaps you can read a book about institutional systems. Maybe you can go to a march, protest. Maybe you can call your legislature. Perhaps write letters to the editor, write letters to people in prison, write letters to workers in the field that are making a difference. Maybe you can feed and clothe and visit those who are less fortunate. Maybe you can strike up a conversation with someone that's not part of your tribe or not your race. Maybe you can watch a movie about like criminal injustice. I just saw the movie Just Mercy and it was quite poignant looking at the biases of the courts. Or you could join a Facebook group that is taking actions. But look out for what people are doing and be inspired by them. Join them, copy them. And finally, be patient with yourself and others because as we create anew, guess what? We're going to make a lot of mistakes. Yes, we will. And we'll even have failure at time. And all of that, it's normal and part of growing. Just take baby steps and be open to feedback and just self correct. And as you continue with these small steps, trust. Trust that bigger doors are going to open up, and suddenly you are going to feel that spark that will light your way to your next course of action. And remember, you're not doing this alone, right? We are at the tipping point in our society of consciousness transformation. So find friends with similar passions and take actions together. And we know this on a cellular level, that together we are more powerful than the individual can ever imagine. So I look forward to seeing what steps you take, what actions move you, what you're passionate about, how you're going to change the world. And we're doing it together. So I'm going to end this talk with this song that I just love. And it's one of my favorite artists. It's Daniel Namod. And it's entitled The Last Song. And it's really a call to action that, if this was my last day, did I do things to impact the lives of others? So take a listen.
If this is my last song, if this is my final day, if tomorrow I'll be gone, what do I want to say? If this is my last song, if it's my time to go, when my body's moved on, what will I have to show? No, not fortune or fame. They scatter to the wind. The things that make a name just don't matter in the end. Is the world a little more peaceful? Oceans and sky a little more blue. Is humankind a little bit wiser about the good that we can do? Does the sun shine a little bit brighter where before there was only rain? If so, then I'm glad I came. If these are my last words for all of the earth to hear, if all that I have ever been is about to disappear, if these are my last words, there's nothing that I need to say. I have only tried to serve. It's never been about talking anyway. So much hurt there is to heal. It's hard to understand. All I can hope to feel is that I am doing what I can. Is the world a little more peaceful? Oceans and sky a little more blue. Is humankind a little bit wiser about the good that we can do? Does the sun shine a little bit brighter where before there was only rain? If so, then I'm glad I came. Have I given hope to the hopeless? Has a hungry soul been fed? Has a child stood a little bit tall 'cause of something that I said? Have I left a little kindness? Have I eased a little pain? If so, then I'm glad I came. For that, I'm so glad I came. If this is my last song, what do I leave behind? What do I pass on if I am out of time?
Wasn't that poignant? It takes so little for us to change lives. So I am so grateful to have had this time with you together. And I look forward to seeing you in person. I'm keeping my fingers crossed for next summer. So hopefully my husband and I will get to visit you then. So I just want to bring up, if you are fed by your community, please, please share your tithes, your treasure, your support. You can donate to unityofanchorage.org/donate. You can mail it in as well. We appreciate all that you give and all that you do to support us. Nancy, once again, thank you so much. I'm going to bring you up on screen. Thank you again for
My
joining
pleasure.
us. I appreciate that.
Thank you for your message this morning.
Thank you. And one more thing here. We're going to do the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. We are the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. We are the love of God. The power of God protects us. We are the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. We are the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and so it is. So may that prayer surround you this week as you do what is yours to do. And I like this. There's going to be a chat after if you want to visit and canoodle with your people from your community. And the Zoom address is up there. And so I'll pop over and see what canoodling is happening. All right. Take good care, everyone. Have a fabulous week. Bye.